Ogni marchio ha una sua identità. Quella di Wally è
Each brand has its own identity. Wally's is innovation, changing, redefining and redesigning. Starting from what is the blank sheet of paper, as they like to say in design and architecture. Wally has defined so much in both sailing and motorboats. Here we are on the Wally Y150. We had already seen the Wally Y200, a particular boat that had thrilled us with its innovations. Wally Y150 follows that trend, especially in the interior layout, which seeks new functionality. The strong point is the forward owner's suite and high bow, but it's not the only new feature.
Armatore a prua, ma non è l'unica novità.
La sfida più semplice è quella di raggiungere la velocità desiderata. Poi la seconda sfida è quella del passaggio delle onde.
The simplest challenge is reaching the desired speed. Then the second challenge is handling the waves, which is always crucial for boats of this width. Another challenge is the length-to-height ratio of these boats. They don't want to be susceptible to rolling, and I must say that with all the new stabilization systems, whether they be gyroscopes or fins, the result is excellent.
Gyroscopi che siano le pinne, il risultato è ottimo. Poi c'è anche questa famosa sfida della...
Then there's also this famous challenge of the forward cabin, because it's true that the forward cabin provides incredible advantages. We're talking about the view, we're talking about the silence because you're far from the engine room. However, you're also much closer to the anchors, for example. So in certain situations, perhaps not very calm ones, the risk is to hear the chain moving a bit.
Di sentire magari un po' la catena che si muove.
Ed eccoci nel regno dell'armatore di Wally Y150.
And here we are in the realm of the owner of Wally Y150, a cabin with a 270-degree view, a novelty in the field of boats that are only 24 meters long. The interiors are by Studio Vallicelli Design, a Roman studio that became famous for Azzurra and has also dedicated itself to motor yachts in its long career history. For the owner's comfort, there is a large bathroom behind the headboard of the bed.
Bagno alle spalle della testiera del letto. Una zona tutta da vivere è l'upper deck.
An area meant for living is the upper deck, which can be reached by a beautiful staircase that rises from the cockpit or through a sliding door from the pilot station. There are sunbeds, sofas, a nice dining table and a kitchen area.
Le innovazioni si vedono ovviamente.
The innovations can obviously also be seen in the living area, a single walking surface between the dining area, which in some versions can become a bar, and the aft cockpit with the swim platform that descends towards the sea.
Dietro di me il grande divano, da qui salgono due schermi.
Behind me is the large sofa. From here, two opposing screens rise. One can be seen from the sofa and one from the aft area. But the most interesting aspect is the layout of the bow area. The far right door leads to the owner's suite. The one in the centre leads to the guest cabins on the lower deck. The one in the far left leads to the kitchen, which provides access to the crew area. The paths of the crew, guests and owner remain separate. It's a level of privacy that is typically found on much larger vessels. And we remind you that we are only on a boat below the legal limit of 24 meters.
Imbarcazione sotto il limite legale dei 24 metri.
Da Wally Y150 ci aspettiamo di attirare...
From Wally Y150, we expect to attract a conventional clientele looking for something different. But above all, we aim to appeal to a clientele that has had a lot to do with the sea, but in a different way. As you can see, we're in the wide-body salon, so on a 24-metre boat, we have a salon that is as spacious as that of a 50-metre boat in terms of width, and it approaches that in terms of depth as well. Therefore, we are targeting a clientele that thinks of their boat not only for navigation, but also a true pied à terre in seaside locations, where they choose to keep the boat for a year, 2 or 3, and then move on to explore new places and new shores.
2, 3, poi spostarsi e vedere nuovi posti, nuovi lidi.
Ecco un particolare ben realizzato.
Here is a well-crafted detail of this boat. This glass window that opens completely. The glass disappears from sight. For the more technical people, I'll let you in on a little secret. How do you maintain the same level between the interior and exterior of the boat while complying with regulations? With a little bilge under this grating.
Per gli ospiti ci sono 3 cabine sono al ponte.
For guests, there are 3 cabins located on the lower deck, 2 doubles and 1 with twin beds. All have windows with a sea view. Each has a bathroom with particular finishing and very pleasant showers.
Con delle docce molto gradevoli. Da questa scala si sale verso il posto.
From this staircase, you go up to the pilot's station. Behind me is the kitchen, and then the staircase that leads down to the crew's quarters. Here we are finally in the command area of the Wally Y150. Some standard features. 3 Volvo Penta IPS 1200 engines are provided, with which the boat reaches 21 knots and has a range of 1,000 miles at 10 knots. 3 IPS 1350s are mounted on this, and the maximum speed rises to 23 knots.
C'è tanta tecnologia per la gestione della
There is a
barca.
lot of technology for managing the boat. Here we have 3 Simrad touchscreen displays from which you can control practically everything. There's the joystick for manoeuvres, electronic throttles, things we are actually quite accustomed to.
C'è anche conforto in questo posto di pilotaggio.
There's also comfort in this helm area with a spacious sofa where people who want to follow the captain, follow the navigation, can comfortably lie down and gaze out towards the horizon.
Verso l'orizzonte. Eccoci finalmente in navigazione con
Here we
Wally
are finally navigating with Wally Y150. I'm a little intimidated. There's the Mistral blowing outside. The boat is obviously large and can handle any sea condition it wants, but something tells me that I still have to be cautious. We are sailing at 8 knots. Now let's pick up the pace a bit. Here we go. So wind conditions are upward, about 20 knots of Mistral. Speed 10.9, speed over ground. Fuel consumption is 15 litres per nautical mile.
15 litri per miglio. E proviamo invece adesso a
Let's
dare
try giving it more gas, or rather full throttle, and see where we get. Tailwind. The engine speed is increasing.
Il regime dei motori sta salendo.
For stability control, we have the Humphrey fins.
La barca è molto
The
stabile.
boat is very stable, even with a bit of wave. About 2,500 RPM, the speed achieved is 22.6, 22.7 knots.
È stata una giornata perfetta per provare una
It was a
barca
perfect
con
day to test a boat with blue water ambitions like the Wally Y150.
maestrale fino a 30 nodi.
Mistral up to 30 knots, waves forming. We were sheltered, but we felt the sea. Wally Y150 lives up to its promises, mainly in terms of being an innovative boat that redefines living functions.
Soprattutto le funzioni abitative.